All right, guys. Michigan just ran it in for a game-ending touchdown. There's less than 4 minutes left. We're down 3 scores. This one's over. Washington will not get the win. Washington will not win the national championship. And Washington will not be the champions of college football for the 2023-2024 season. So, got a lot to say about this. There's a lot that need be said here, a lot that needs to be gone into, and I have a few conflicting thoughts. Hard to know where to start exactly because this game kicks off. And right away, your run defense gets completely blown off the field. You allow 2 long rushing touchdowns, another long rushing play. Michigan has like 170 rushing yards by the end of the first quarter. They have 200 by the end of the half. And I said in my pregame video that if we lose this game, I think it's because we can't stop the run. If we lose this game, I think it's because Michigan runs all over us and we make the game about that instead of making it about the things that we're good at, because Michigan can run the ball and we can't stop the run. And that's exactly what happened in that first half. And I was disappointed. I was discouraged. I was unhappy with the fact that this team knew what this was going to look like, knew what this game was going to be, and they came out like that. Where it's one thing to get run on. Like, we got run on pretty badly, admittedly, and it was kind of expected, but it wasn't expected to be like that. 170 rushing yards in the first quarter is some Michigan versus Tulane type stuff. That's Michigan versus Western Chattanooga State country. That's not, Michigan versus UW. And I know UW doesn't have the best defense, but it's supposed to be like a real defense. So the game starts out like that. And obviously, that's where your attention initially goes, but guys, that's not where this game ended. Like, after those first 3 drives where Michigan put up those 17 points, this defense locked down, and I kind of couldn't believe my eyes. After that first quarter, I thought to myself, well, Michigan's unlocked the secret here. All they have to do is just run the ball on every single play, and we're not going to be able to consistently stop it. But then you had what happened the rest of that game. There was really no running to speak of. Like, Michigan did eventually get to 300 yards rushing, but it took them the whole game to get there. They had to grind to get there. So most of their rushing was done on those first 3 drives. And after that, the defense came to play, and I'm proud of them. 10 of Michigan's points in this game were because of the offense turning the ball over and giving Michigan easy points. This defense actually did a great job to limit Michigan to a field goal after the turnover coming out of half. So this defense actually brought it. They were able to tackle much better as the game went on. They came up with some big plays in coverage. They came up with some big pass deflections. They did some really great things out there. And to my utter shock, like genuine shock, I can't believe I'm saying this, our offense was the problem. Now, I say shock, and some people are going to be like, what do you mean by shock? Michigan has the number 1 defense in the country. Yeah, they do, but this was supposed to be the best offense they had played all year. So for us to only put up 13 points, something went wrong. And it kills me to have to say it, and I'm surprised that I'm saying it, but ultimately this game is about Michael Penix not really showing up. He was not good in this game at all. And I know there were some drops. I know that we had the drop from Nixon, and I know we had a drop from Polk. But bottom line is, Penix needs to be our best player, and he was not even close. He was one of our worst players. He missed so many opportunities. I know the Rome Odunze play was probably on Odunze. I don't think that was a Penix problem. So I'm not really talking about that, but in general, he just was off. Some of the decisions were bad. The throws were off target. I know he got hurt coming out of halftime, and I know that's a problem. I know that's a big thing. I know he wasn't himself, but he wasn't even very good in that first half. We put together that one really good drive, and then everything was just pulling teeth. So, yeah, I don't want to say anything bad about Penix because it was a magical season and it was a magical year by him, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him for what he did to put the team on his back last week, but it was just so deflating to see the offense be the reason why you're not winning. Because the defense played well enough to win. As weird as that sounds in a game where you gave up 300 rushing yards, the defense played well enough to win. I know people are looking at the scoreboard and saying, oh, Michigan won by 3 scores. That was a close game until midway through the fourth quarter, and it ultimately came down to the fact that this offense couldn't sustain drives, couldn't stay out there on the field, and most of it was on Penix. Because this wasn't a situation where, oh, the pressure was getting to him in 1 second on every single snap or anything like that. No, it wasn't that. It was, oh, I've got an open man, but I'm going to miss him. Oh, I've got an opportunity to make a good decision here, but I'm going to make a bad decision. Oh, I'm just going to miss the throw. One thing or another, we just couldn't get out of our own way. And against a team like Michigan, you can't get in your own way and expect to ever win. So that's how we're here right now. That's how we're here in a game where, like I said, we were in it. We were in it midway through the fourth quarter. The defense had forced punt after punt after punt after punt. It was a 1-score game. I was waiting for the offense to wake up and wake up and wake up, and it just never did. And obviously we couldn't really run the ball either, but that's not surprising. That's our own fault for letting Dillon Johnson get hurt again last week. And I don't know. That part of it is disappointing to me. But I will say this. I am proud of this team for getting up off the mat when it was 17-3. It looked like we were outmatched. It looked like we were TCU. It looked like we were Hawaii or something like that, and we were just going to get the doors blown off us, and everybody would be like, oh, Georgia should have been there instead of Washington or Alabama. It didn't turn into that. We actually ended up having a real game. We ended up having a close, competitive, fun game. So I am proud of the team for getting up and at least making this interesting. And I am also proud of this team just for the season they've had. It's been an incredible ride, and for them to get to this point by any means by which they got here. I don't care how they got here. The fact that they are here in this game is amazing. So I don't want to take away from that. I don't want to take away from this amazing season that we've had. I mean, it's college football. It is very hard to win a national championship. I understand that. Just getting there is great. And I'm very proud of this team for the steps they've taken. But it is weird to watch a game of Washington Huskies football where your defense shows up like this and your offense just can't get out of their own way, mostly because their quarterback just didn't bring it. So I praised Penix up and down last week, but I got to criticize him a little bit this week. And look, his Washington career is over no matter what. It's not like I'm criticizing him going forward. Like, it is what it is. It's over. He's going to the NFL now, and he is one of the greatest players in the history of this school, and of this program. Some have argued he's the greatest Washington Husky of all time, but just came up a little bit short, and it does suck. But I do suspect that we did lose to the better team. I gotta admit, their defense did bring it even a little more than I thought. I know that there's going to be a lot of talk about the referees after this game, and yeah, there was some stuff in this game that made me mad. The deep shot to Rome that got called back was pretty weak. I didn't appreciate that. But I gotta be honest, I'm not even really thinking about that kind of stuff all that much. Like, I know it sucks. I know that I know that there were some calls that didn't go our way. I know there was some stuff that happened in that game that was outside our control that didn't go our way as Washington fans. But bottom line is this: we can't expect to win a game where Penix plays that bad. We can't. And the officials had nothing to do with that, or very little to do with that. So, hard for me to sit here and act like that was the reason why we didn't win this game, when my best player is playing that poorly. And by the way, my other best player, Romo Dunze, I know he made some nice plays, but he didn't exactly have a banner day either. Don't really know what else to say. There are a couple plays in this game I'm going to be thinking about for a long time. The running game being so bad, the drop by Nixon on third down, where he definitely had the first and probably had a lot more. The miss between Penix and Rome in the first half, that would have been a free touchdown on 4th and 7. You know, these things that absolutely positively should have, that go our way in pretty much every other game we play. So that is going to be tough to swallow. That's not going to be fun. But it was an amazing season. I am proud of the effort that these guys had. I'm proud of the way they got up off the mat in this game and made it a game. But got to be better. Next year, let's work on tackling. Let's get a better run defense. Let's get a defense that's actually going to be able to hang with some of these teams in the Big 12, because right now I don't know if we have that. And like, this game told me that we kind of do, but then again, we kind of don't, because there were moments of competency and moments of bad stuff. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video. I don't think there's really too much else to say. Again, proud of the team, disappointed in tonight. But again, I suspect that we lost to the better team in the Wolverines. And you can only get so upset about that at the end of the day. It kind of went the way I thought, but not really. Not really. It didn't go the way I thought at the same time. All right, bow down to Washington, but it's Michigan's time now. Great season, special season. See you guys next year. Bow down.